This evening, Mon Repos Labourer remanded for the murder of Agnes Dillon. Linden Gold miner given a year in prison for having 400 grams of cannabis in his possession. Guyana Fire Services fire at West Ruimveldt intentionally set. In the region, Haiti, 1 year since President's killing, where do things stand? And internationally, Shinzo Abe shooting. Japan shocked after ex-Prime Minister dies. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The West Ruimveldt fire last Tuesday was declared to be an act of arson by the Guyana Fire Service, as the service explains.
A preliminary investigation by the Guyana Fire Service into the fire that gutted the home of 25-year-old Shamar Daniels and his sister at West Ruimveldt, Georgetown, leaving them both homeless, has confirmed as maliciously set. In a statement on Wednesday evening, the Guyana Fire Service noted, quote, preliminary investigations have revealed that a relative set the fire. Firefighters were alerted around 9:47 a.m. that the house at 389 Carlita Street was on fire and rushed to the scene to contain the blaze. According to the Guyana Fire Service, the house was owned by the siblings' late mother, Sherry Daniels, who passed away recently. It is believed that a dispute between the siblings could have driven the motive for the property, as the fire was deliberately set by the older sibling, Viron Cameron. Headline News has spoke to Daniels, who strongly suspected his brother was the arsonist after previous threats and attempts to burn the property.
This is not no electrical problem because no current don't come into the house. Well, I get a brother named Viron Cameron. He provoked for the RD, attempt for burn down the house already. You understand? And he attempt for kill me also, my mother also. You understand? So a couple months back, around February, since before the last year, he had some problems. I got restrained, my mother restrained out of free. Well, he keep coming and coming at the house here, so you understand. To my knowledge, some people tell me that when this fire started, they saw he running over the other side of the play field. They say he running over some.
Up to press time, police have yet to arrest the person responsible for the fire. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Silvers.
Thanks, Esther. 26-year-old Nimon Passad, a laborer of Mon Repos North, East Coast Demerara, was charged and subsequently remanded to prison for the murder of 86-year-old Agnes Dillon when he appeared at the Sparrendam Magistrates Court on Thursday, July 7th. Passad appeared before Magistrate Rochelle Liverpool, where the charge was read to him. He was not required to plead to the indictable charge. The court heard that Dillon is always out and about, but on June 30th, she did not leave her house and did not answer her phone. The landlord became concerned and decided to call a neighbor for assistance in attempting to pry open a window to check on the woman. The neighbor opened the bedroom window and climbed through. There he discovered Dillon lying motionless on the bed in a pool of blood. When police arrived, they found the woman with many knife wounds to her left and right of her chest and cuts to her right hand and left side of her face. She was pronounced deceased at the scene. When the crime scene was investigated, a shoe print was discovered close to the window on the northern side of the room. A brown-handled knife with bloodstain was also found next to the window. The police had arrested 3 persons in the ongoing investigations. They, however, managed to obtain a confession from Passad, who resided near the victim. He reportedly admitted fatally stabbing Dillon after she allegedly refused to pay him for weeding her yard. He returned to the location with detective and explained how he had gotten into Dillon's house. Passad will return to court on September 9, 2022. A gold miner from Linden was given a year in prison for having 400 grams of marijuana on him with the intentions of trafficking. More from Dale Jarvis.
37-year-old gold miner Robert Vipers of Nottinghamshire, Linden, was sentenced to 1 year in prison and over $600,000 fine after being caught with more than 400 grams of cannabis at Maburo on July 3, 2022. Vipers appeared before Magistrate Wanda Fortune at the Linden Magistrate Court on July 5th, where the charge of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking was read to him. He pleaded guilty and was subsequently sentenced to 1 year imprisonment and fine. The court-ordered Vivos was arrested after police ranks attached to the Maburo Police Outpost intercepted him in front of the Maburo Police Outpost on a motorcycle, and a search was carried out. A transparent bag containing a number of leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be narcotics was found on the motorcycle. The suspected narcotics was weighed and amounted to 402 grams. Additionally, police rank attached to the Temeri Police Station on mobile patrol duty seized over 1,200 grams of suspected cannabis on a motorcycle on Wednesday, July 6th. Around 8:30 p.m., the ranks were on patrol in the vicinity of Yarracabra Linden Suicide Highway when they observed two males on the motorcycle with the pillion rider carrying a black haversack on his back. The ranks signaled the men to stop, to which they complied, and as the ranks were about to exit the vehicle, the pillion rider dropped the said haversack and ran into the nearby bushes on the side of the road, escaping. The search of the haversack revealed two large transparent bags which contained leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis. The suspected cannabis and the motorcycle were taken to the Temeri Police Station, where the cannabis was weighed and amounted to 1,205 grams. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Stick around after the break. Hundreds of people in Region 6 to benefit from BIT training program, and the Guyana Police Force investigating the stabbing of a Guyana Defense Force soldier by her fiancé.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets, and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
They say that when it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give in to a juicy piece of KFC. To feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Welcome back. A 23-year-old Guyana Defense Force soldier was stabbed several times by her fiancé at Paradise on the east coast of Demerara on Tuesday, June 5th. The injured woman, 23-year-old Zindia April of Paradise, East Coast Demerara, was allegedly stabbed by her lover, former GDF rank 26-year-old James Rodwell Mortimer Cadogan of Golden Grove, East Coast Demerara. He is currently on the run. According to April's brother, on Monday night, he was informed that Cadogan was harassing and threatening his sister with a knife and told her that he would kill her. The family agreed that they would visit April's home to gather her items on Tuesday night after she got off from work. Efforts to have a rank from the Vigilance Police Station and an More Police Station accompanying them proved futile since no patrol was available. April, her brother, mother, and other relatives proceeded to the house. When April and her mother entered the house, Cadogan was already in the house hiding. He ran out and locked the door with both women inside. He allegedly attacked the woman, stabbing her before opening the door to escape. Her mother was also stabbed in her shoulder. April was then picked up and rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, where she remains admitted. Cadogan was stabbed 5 times about her body. The family returned to the police station to report the matter. However, they are claiming that they are not getting sufficient cooperation from the police in the matter. They stated that the following morning they returned to the station, but it was until 3 p.m. that afternoon when they got a patrol to accompany them to the suspect's home in Golden Grove. Furthermore, the victims' relatives claim they are getting no sort of cooperation from the police. They have created and posted flyers seeking the whereabouts of the suspect. Domestic violence continues to be on the rise. Women continue to be abused, battered, severely injured, and even lose their lives at the hands of abusive partners. Domestic violence is not just physical violence. Domestic violence is any behavior, the purpose of which is to gain power and control over a spouse, partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, or intimate family member. If you or anyone you know may be suffering from domestic violence, you can call the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security hotline and speak with someone who can help you. In an effort to close the skills gap in Region 6, nearly 300 young people have begun a range of training programs offered by the Board of Industrial Training. Esther Sobers has more details.
Nearly 300 young persons in Region 6, East Quarantine Berbice have started a variety of training programs provided by the Board of Industrial Training, BIT. Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton made this disclosure on Wednesday, following interactions with participants of various training centers during a 2-day outreach in the region. He said he wants each participant to benefit from the technical job opportunities which would be made available in the oil and gas industry.
We have about 6-7 programs that are important for us to train people in large numbers in Region 5 and 6. And so many of the programs are the programs that we have set out as regards the training that we have done. Importantly also, we have in some programs that normally you would see women will not be in them. You have now women are joining those programs in the different areas, and so that's a good thing.
Mr. Hamilton said the interest shown by the region thus far demonstrates citizens' desire to take advantage of the training opportunities provided by the government.
Pletanka you spoke about, that program was launched. The first time a program is being done in that village, which is just a farming village. For persons that don't know, that's on the east bank of the Berbice. And so we will extend training program right up to the last village, which is Mara, going that way on the east bank of the Berbice River. And of course, we are to start program in Siprut and Oriala very shortly in the Quarantine River.
Minister Hamilton noted that the launch of the first ever garment construction program in the Plague Anchor Village, East Berbice. The training programs, the minister stated, are the beginning of what citizens should expect from the government to help transform their lives. He said the government would remain committed to broadening its reach to provide BIT programs to ensure a skilled workforce for current and emerging sectors. In May, the minister, along with his technical team, hosted a skill training consultation with several stakeholders to identify the skill gap in the region, resulting in a series of training programs currently being provided. Since August 2020, over 4,000 people have been trained in small engine repairs, electrical installation, heavy-duty equipment operation, air conditioner and refrigerator repairs, mechanics, welding, and fabrication. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Sit-ins held in Sudan after military withdrawals from talks, and Shinzo Abe shooting. Japan shocked after ex-prime minister dies.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rimfield or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly or ABS hard side material with 4-wheeled spinners and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. There have been protests in Haiti on the first anniversary of the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. The killing and the resulting power vacuum triggered an increase in violence by criminal gangs and a massive political crisis. Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampietti reports.
A somber ceremony for a country in disarray. A year after President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated, Haitian authorities and diplomats met to mark the occasion. Current acting President Ariel Henry says he's committed to seeking justice.
I'm determined to encourage the continuation of the investigation until its conclusion. Haitian justice can count on the unconditional support of the government. Despite its weaknesses, the justice system must continue to track down and sentence the culprits so that our country will never have to go through such drama again.
But despite dozens of arrests, including a group of Colombian mercenaries, Haiti's investigation remains stalled. And many accuse Henry himself of being involved after he fired his justice minister and a prosecutor last year when they called for him to be investigated in connection with the murder. He denies any involvement. On Thursday, hundreds took to the streets of the capital Port-au-Prince in protest, burning tires and calling for Henry's resignation.
The Prime Minister must go to jail because he was involved in the killing of the President. This is not normal in the 21st century. It is shocking. But his legacy will not die. We will continue.
Some of the arrested Colombian mercenaries have released a video saying they had gone over 70 hours without food. They haven't been charged and haven't had access to a lawyer for 10 months. A separate investigation in the US has led to 3 arrests, including a former US government criminal informant. In a statement on Thursday, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the U.S. remains concerned about the limited progress of Haiti's investigation. Since the killing, the already fragile economic and political situation in the country fell deeper into dysfunction as gangs took over large parts of the capital. Thousands of people have been killed, tortured, or forced to leave.
What has happened in Haiti for the past years shows that shortcuts do not work. There is a crisis, it's getting worse. So we need to tackle the issues. We need to make sure that we fight gang violence and have a political consensus and have free election.
But with none of these options on the horizon, Haitians are left in a grim spiral of violence and impunity that sees an ever-growing number of them ready to risk their life to leave the country. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera.
Internationally, Sudanese protesters are demonstrating in various parts of the capital, Khartoum, days after the military announced it was withdrawing from talks with political parties. Al Jazeera's Hibab Morgan reports.
More people arrive at this sit-in in the northern part of Khartoum. It's now in its 5th day. Protesters here are demanding the military abandon politics after it took power last October. The army announced on Monday it was withdrawing from talks to form a transitional government to pave way for political parties to reach an agreement. But organizers of the sit-in, known as resistance committees, are continuing with their protests.
We think the statement from the army is just a political process and a play with words. When we say we want them to return to the barracks, it's not just about them leaving politics. It's about the reform of the security sector, ensuring that their role is clearly defined and making sure that they don't have access to wealth that should be going into the government coffers.
Bahri's sit-in is one of many such protests in Khartoum. They started after mass protests last month left 9 people dead and hundreds injured when security forces used tear gas and live ammunition to disperse demonstrations. Protesters here say the army's talk of withdrawal fails to meet their demands.
We want to end the military rule because a lot of people are suffering. Since they took charge 3 years ago, nothing has changed. And even with the army saying it's withdrawing from talks, there's been no justice yet for the protesters killed, so we're not going anywhere.
The talks were being facilitated by the UN, along with the African Union and the regional body IGAD. Following the army's withdrawal, the tripartite mechanism announced it was cancelling negotiations and will consult political parties and stakeholders on a new format to end Sudan's political crisis. There have been varied reactions from political parties. While some have announced they are ready to sit down and find ways to form a transitional government, others have denounced the army's withdrawal, rejected the possibility of further talks, and called for more protests. As the tripartite mechanism tries to bring the parties together, resistance committees say they will work to ensure any deal reached is accepted by protesters.
Resistance committees are monitoring bodies before being executive bodies. We will support political parties to make sure they appoint a government of technocrats that can work for the people and not affiliated to any political party. Our demands are very clear. We want a government with competent people that can deliver.
But it's not clear when or if that government will be formed. Sudan's road to political stability still appears a long one. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
And finally, Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has died after he was shot during a campaign event in the city of Nara. Al Jazeera's Natasha Goniam reports.
A shot to the heart by a man with a homemade gun. A routine campaign speech ending in an unprecedented assassination. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe died Friday morning in the western city of Nara. He was campaigning for upper house elections scheduled for Sunday. Seconds after Abe collapsed, officers tackled the suspect. Police say 41-year-old Tetsuya Yamagami told them he was disgruntled with Abe and aimed to kill him. It was a rare occurrence in a country with a low crime rate and some of the world's most restrictive gun laws.
We cannot accept that this violent act took place during an election, the foundation of democracy. In the strongest terms, I condemn this attack.
The 67-year-old was a dynamo of Japanese politics and a third-generation politician. His grandfather was prime minister, his father foreign minister. Abe distinguished himself as the longest-serving prime minister with 2 terms in office.
He brought stability to a political system that tended to kind of churn out prime ministers one after another. Not only that, but he was also transformative in Japanese politics. He made Japan a much more significant player in terms of regional and I would say even global security.
Abe promoted policies dubbed Abenomics, intended to boost the economy. He wanted to strengthen Japan's geopolitical clout by amending its post-World War II pacifist constitution. It proved polarizing among the public, and his efforts failed. During his last year in office, he was criticized for his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I've worked hard every single day to revitalize the economy and to conduct diplomacy that would protect the national interest. During this time, I'm proud to have taken on various challenges with the Japanese people.
Although he resigned in 2020, citing poor health, the following year, Abe returned as leader of the Liberal Democratic Party. A man who couldn't shed his political skin, assassinated for it. Natasha Ghanem, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. We will be back on Monday at 7 p.m. with another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.